Can I just be real for a minute? I'm just a guy trying to figure out this journey of quitting porn and sharing with you what is and has worked for me. In this video, I am sharing with you a key shift that occurred in my understanding that set me on the road to finding freedom from porn, regarding God, salvation, and the work He is doing in the lives of believers. I promise if you stick around, this shift will have an amazing impact on you, your life, and more importantly, your relationship with God. So hang in with me. Maybe your journey to quitting porn has been a lot like mine, spending so much time rehabilitating the old man and trying to bring him in line, paying little, if any, attention to the fact that there's a whole other man mentioned in those verses in Ephesians 4, that you put away as concerning your former way of life the old man that grows corrupt after the lusts of deceit, and that you be renewed in the spirit of your mind and put on the new man, who is in the likeness of God and has been created in righteousness and holiness of truth. In my attempts to quitting porn, I tried subduing the old man and his ways, beliefs, desires, and behaviors, having no understanding what it was I was even trying to change or how it would help. Darting my eyes, putting blockers on my computer, creating a confession journal, which by the way was the worst idea ever, and even refusing to touch myself at all. I snapped rubber bands on my wrists, pinched and even hit myself, figuring that subjecting myself to pain would somehow bring the old man in line. It never worked. Regardless of how much I tried, I could not contain him. I was a proverbial Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But in preparing for this video, I was reminded of those verses in Colossians chapter 2. If you died with Christ from the elements of this world, why, as though living in the world, do you subject yourself to its ordinances? Do not handle, nor taste, nor touch, all of which perish with use. According to the precepts and doctrine of men, these things indeed appear like wisdom, in self-imposed worship, humility, and severity to the body, but aren't of any value against the indulgences of the flesh. Did you catch that? They are of no value against the indulgences of the flesh. None. How was I to beat this then? My first steps in understanding this new man was when I said to myself, I just need to love Jesus more, but I struggled with even knowing what that would look like. My next jump in understanding the new man was when I asked myself this question: what does the new man even look like? That was a great question. Then more specifically, what does a Christian man who doesn't watch porn look like? Beginning to answer these questions started my journey on putting on the new man, and took my eyes and thoughts off the old man. So what does a Christian man who doesn't watch porn look like for you? This is the question we need to focus on. What does he look like? Say, think, do. What does he strive for? What is he like in the shower? Does he stay up late by himself? How much time does he spend on social media? And how does he know when it's time to get off? Seriously, what does this guy look like for you? In working with other guys who are trying to quit porn, I found that answering what he looks like is sometimes hard for guys. So let me ask the question a bit differently. If you wanted to guarantee to watch porn and masturbate today, what is the list of things that you would do? What would you think about? How would you spend your time? What lies would you believe? And who's around? Don't get too detailed here. I don't want you slipping up. That's not my goal. Now ask yourself, what does a Christian man who doesn't want to watch porn do instead? If a guy wants to guarantee to act out his lust does X, what does the man who doesn't want to do instead? I'm not talking about trying to stop doing X. What I'm driving for is what are the actions that are different than the guy that gives himself over to his lusts and porn? To put it another way, if a man wants to gain 50 pounds, eats whatever and whenever he wants, what does the man who wants to lose 20 pounds do instead? And what are you telling them to do? Then make this guy your identity, the new man, the kind of man who doesn't watch porn anymore. And do the things that the new man would do. Pick some simple steps, max 3, and focus on doing those. Stop focusing on the old man and focus on the new. Remind yourself to start thinking like the new man. Make decisions as the new man would. And when temptation comes, say, I am no longer that old man. I am the man who responds like the new one. Chasing that is freedom. And rehabilitating the old man is a waste of time. Would you subscribe? I would be very grateful. Feel free to follow and DM me on Twitter. Jay here on Shackle Road, where I discuss tips, tactics, and routines to help Christian men break free from watching porn for good and to live lives of freedom. Check out this video next.